I am 73 years old, and it took me 50 years to understand that I was chasing ghosts. I spent my entire youth trying to build a monument. I wanted my name to be carved in stone. I thought that unless I was someone, I was no one at all. I climbed every ladder I could find. I collected the titles. I wore them like armor. But armor is heavy. It protects you from the outside, but it also separates you from the truth of your own soul. I lived in the noise of praise, the noise of competition. I thought the louder I shouted, the more I existed. But the world is a busy place. It glances at you for a second and then turns away. It forgets your triumphs as quickly as it applauds them. Now, sitting in this quiet room, the silence tells a different story. The shadows on these walls are more real than any award I ever won. The stone monuments I dreamt of are already crumbling in my mind. They were made of sand and ego. We are taught to crave the spectacular. We are told that an ordinary life is a wasted life. But real life happens in the gaps, in the moments no one photographs, in the words no one records. It is the tea cooling on the table, the dust dancing in a stray beam of light. I am 73, and I am finally learning how to just be. It is the hardest thing I have ever done. We are born with a hunger that has no name. We call it ambition. We call it drive. But deep down, it is a simple, terrifying fear of being invisible. I spent decades feeding this hunger. I wanted the world to look at me. I wanted the titles on the door and the firm handshakes of powerful men. I thought that if I collected enough gold stars, I would finally feel solid. I would finally be real. I look at this old wooden award on my desk now. The brass plate is tarnished. The ink on the inscription is fading into the grain. At the time, I thought this object was my soul. I sacrificed sleep for it. I sacrificed quiet dinners with my wife. I missed the scent of my children's hair when they were small, because I was too busy being significant. What is significance? It is a shadow that grows long in the afternoon but vanishes by nightfall. We chase the shadow and forget the sun. We trade the warmth of the present for the cold promise of history. Stoicism taught me too late that status is not a good, it is a heavy chain. I was a prisoner of my own resume. I was a slave to the opinions of people I didn't even like. Now, the hunger is gone. The room is quiet. And I realized that I was already enough before I ever started the race. I keep boxes in the bottom of my closet. They are coffins for dead time. Yesterday, I pulled one out into the light. The smell of ancient dust and dried ink filled the small room. Inside, I found my old appointment diaries, heavy, leather-bound. The gold leaf on the edges has long since flaked away. 1995, 1999, 2004. I opened the one from 99. Every single page was black with ink. Meetings, deadlines, flights to cities I don't even remember visiting. I remember the anxiety those written words used to cause me, the rush of adrenaline, the terrifying fear of being late. I ran from one entry to the next, afraid of dropping a single ball. I hold that diary in my hands right now. It feels heavy. Not heavy with importance, just heavy with paper and wasted energy. The urgency has evaporated. The deals we made are forgotten. The empire I thought I was building exists only in these decaying pages. The Stoics teach us that the past is dead, that it no longer exists. Sitting here on the floor, surrounded by these books, I realize the truth of it. I wasn't managing time back then. Time was managing me, and it slipped through my fingers while I was busy writing it all down. I found this folded map tucked inside a heavy book today. It is a map of the Mediterranean, Italy, Greece, the blue waters I swore I would see one day. I bought it 30 years ago. I told my wife, just one more promotion. Just one more busy season. Then we will go. I was a master of the future. I lived in a time that did not exist. I traded the sunlight on my back today for the promise of a holiday tomorrow. But someday is a thief. It steals your presence and gives you nothing but a stack of faded paper in return. I trace the line of the coast with my finger right now. The paper is brittle. It cracks under my touch, just like my plans did. Seneca warned us that while we waste our time hesitating, life rolls on. We wait for the perfect moment. We wait for the bank account to be full. We wait for the children to be grown. And then we find ourselves sitting in a quiet room, holding a map to a place we are now too tired to visit. The only real landscape is the one you are standing in. The chair, the lamp, the breath in your lungs. Everything else is just ink and dreams. I am holding a letter from a man named David. I received it 10 years ago. He was a young clerk in my old office. He was struggling. I remember spending 30 minutes with him on a rainy Tuesday. I didn't give him money. I didn't give him a promotion. I just listened. I told him he had value. I had forgotten that Tuesday, but David didn't. In this letter, he says those 30 minutes changed everything for him. He says he went home and decided not to give up. Now he has a family of his own. Now he is a mentor to others. All because of a conversation I thought was insignificant. We obsess over the big splash. We want the explosion. We want to be the hero of a grand story. But the most powerful force in the world is the ripple. A small act of kindness, an honest word, a moment of genuine attention given to a stranger. These things move through time in ways we can never see. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should be like the rocky headland on which the waves break. But I think we should also be the water, the quiet, steady flow that touches every shore. I look at this scrap of paper and realize a hard truth. The important meetings in my diary meant nothing. This letter, this is the only thing that actually matters. I am holding my father's old silver pocket watch. It is heavy, solid, cold. The glass is cracked across the face. It stopped ticking decades ago. But for most of my life, I lived as if I were a ticking clock myself. Always counting down. Always rushing toward the next hour. I would sit at the dinner table with my family. But I wasn't really there. I was in a boardroom that hadn't opened yet. I was replaying an argument from 3 days ago. I was a ghost in my own home. We think being present is a gift we give to others. It isn't. It is the only way we truly live for ourselves. If your mind is in tomorrow, you are dead today. If you are living in yesterday, you are a prisoner of a shadow. The Stoics say, confine yourself to the present. It sounds so simple. It is the hardest discipline in the world. I look at this watch now. I don't care about the minutes it lost. I care about the weight of the metal in my palm. I care about the sound of my own breath in this quiet room. This moment is the only thing I ever really owned. For 70 years, I treated it like a burden to be discarded. I was always looking past it. Now, I am finally learning to look at it. I am here, right now, and that is enough. I have a collection of fountain pens in that drawer. Fine nibs, gold plating, Italian resins. I used to think each one added a layer of dignity to my life. I thought that if I surrounded myself with the best things, I would become the best version of myself. What a fool I was. Objects do not build a man. They bury him. I hold this one now. It is cold. It is just plastic and metal. It did not write better words than a cheap pencil would. It did not make my thoughts more profound. It just demanded my worry. I was afraid to lose it. I was afraid to scratch it. We spend our lives gathering more money, more clothes, more respect. But every more is a new master. Every possession is a new anxiety. We think we are masters of our property, but we are actually just its guards. The Stoic knows that wealth is not having many possessions. It is having few wants. I am cleaning out my drawers now. I am letting go. The lighter I get, the higher I can see. I am finally realizing a simple truth. The things I owned, they were actually owning me. What will remain when I am gone? We think of wills. We think of bank accounts and deeds to houses. We think of names on buildings. But death is a filter that lets the heavy things fall away. It only keeps what is weightless. I am holding a small wooden horse. It is missing an ear. The paint was rubbed off by a child's hand 40 years ago. I carved it on a slow Sunday when I should have been working. At the time, it felt like a distraction, a waste of a productive afternoon. But as I sit here now, this piece of wood is more precious than my entire portfolio. The money I made is just numbers in a machine. But the joy this toy brought, that is a permanent mark on the universe. Your real legacy is not what you leave for people. It is what you leave in them. It is the way you handled your anger, the way you showed up when you were tired, the kindness you practiced when no one was watching. Stoicism tells us that we are like actors in a play. We do not choose the role, but we choose how well we play it. When the curtain falls, the costumes are returned to the theater. The only thing you take with you is the integrity of your performance. I look at this broken toy, and I realize that my greatest work was never done in an office. It was done here, in the quiet, in the love. I am holding this old silver mirror. It has been with me for half a century. I used to look into it every morning to see if the world would approve of me. I adjusted my tie. I practiced my smile. I checked for gray hairs as if they were signs of a personal failure. I was obsessed with the man in the glass. I wanted him to look successful. I wanted him to look powerful. I wanted him to look like he had all the answers. But the ego is a demanding god. It is never satisfied with the reflection. It always wants more light, more praise, more eyes watching. I spent years polishing a persona that wasn't even real. I was so busy protecting my image that I forgot to protect my soul. But now, I look at these deep wrinkles. They are not scars of defeat. They are maps of a life actually lived. The man I thought I had to be is finally dying, and I am the one who is killing him. It is a beautiful death. The Stoics knew that we are not our reputations. We are not our names. We are the quiet awareness behind the mask. I set the mirror down now. I don't need to see myself anymore. I just need to see. To be nobody is the ultimate freedom. The cage door is open, and the bird is finally quiet. The light from this single candle is small, but it is enough. I used to be afraid of the dark. I used to be afraid of the silence. I spent my life filling every room with noise to drown out the sound of my own soul. I thought that if I stopped moving, I would vanish. But now, the silence is my sanctuary. I am 73 years old, and for the first time in 50 years, I am not waiting for anything. I am not waiting for a call. I am not waiting for a result. I am not waiting for tomorrow. I am here, in this chair, with this breath. Marcus Aurelius said that your life is what your thoughts make it. My thoughts are finally still. They are like the surface of a mountain lake at dawn. No ripples, no storms. The room is dark, but I have never seen more clearly. I am not my past. I am not my future. I am the awareness of this flame. I am the weight of my body in this seat. It took me a lifetime to realize that the destination was never a place. It was never a title or a bank account. It was a state of being. I have arrived. I am home, and it is beautiful.